Hello everybody and welcome to another Tide Guy video. Today's video is about coaching firings once again. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, and also if you would please subscribe to this video. I'm having a contest with another YouTuber to see who can get to 2,500 subscribers first, so I'd really appreciate all the subscribes I can get. Today we're going to start off with Paul Chryst from Wisconsin. I really cannot believe they fired him. He was a really good coach. He'd been there 7 years. He was 67-26. He took them and won a Cotton Bowl and an Orange Bowl, and also had them in the Big Ten championships 3 times. So that firing is really perplexing. If you look back at it, Nebraska, they kind of did the same thing with Bo Pelini. Bo Pelini had almost the same record. He was 65-27 over the same period. And I mean, you look what happened in Nebraska. Wisconsin, I know the younger audience will say, well, Wisconsin's a really good school and this and that. But for us old guys, we know that, Wisconsin had struggled. Alvarez came up there, made a really good program, and they've had some good coaches since there. Bielema, and they do have success. 67-26. Most colleges would die to have a coach with that kind of a record. I know they're down this year, and I know that loss to Illinois really hurt them when they only had 2 total yards of rushing, and that's just not the Wisconsin way. But you get rid of him, who are you going to bring in? Are they thinking, and did they have this in play? Because I know a lot of speculation out there, and a lot of it is just speculation. People throw names out there, so you really don't know. But the defensive coordinator, Leonard, he's been talked about going to Nebraska. They might have interest in him. There will be a few other schools that'll have him on the list. So maybe Wisconsin said, look, we're going to lose him. We'd like him as a long-term coach, so they fired Paul. But to me, it just don't make sense. I understand if you're Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, even Oklahoma, a coach with that record probably won't last there. But unless you're a team that's competing for, playoffs year after year, or at least in the hunt, even like a Clemson, why would you fire a coach that in 7 years had his team almost half the time in the championship game? There are so many other colleges out there that don't ever get a sniff conference championship, and so you let go of a coach who gets you there on a regular basis. To me, this isn't a good look for football. I mean, if I was a coach and Wisconsin came to me and said, we'd like to offer you the job, and I look at, you just got rid of a coach who 3 out of 7 years got you in the Big Ten championship, and you got rid of him. His record was 67-26 at a school that's not the top of their conference. I mean, because if most people look at the Big Ten, everybody's going to shout out, well, Ohio State is the cream of the crop. And then everybody's going to say Michigan, Penn State. And then I'd probably have it split between Michigan State and Wisconsin. They kind of go back and forth. So, I mean, I'm not trying to put Wisconsin down. They're not top 3 of their conference yet. Half the time he's had them in the championship. So as a coach, you got to look at this. I go in there, what are they expecting? And if I have one bad year, they're going to get rid of me, even though I've had, success there. It just don't make sense to me. I do continue to blame all these firings early, the signing period that is in the middle of December for these recruits, because you got to get a coach in there who can go out and recruit. This one just really don't make sense. Just briefly, another coach who was fired, everybody knows Karl Dorrell out of Colorado. He started the season 0-5. His overall record was 8-15, which his first year there was the COVID season. He started out 4-0, so everybody thought, that was going to be a great hire. And since then, he's went 4-15. So I don't think it was a surprise, especially after last week when Colorado sent out the statement they sent. To me, I'm not saying the coach doesn't deserve to be fired in that case. With a record like that, I can justify that. But I think the thing with Colorado, I think the athletic director needs to be fired also, because if you look at Colorado, since they joined the Pac-12, nothing has happened. They have not been good. They don't upgrade facilities. The facilities are not there. So, they had Mel Tucker, who's now at Michigan State, but Mel Tucker left because the facilities wasn't there in recruiting. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, facilities, does it really matter to these recruits? It really does, because I know there's things above it, but if you don't have great weight rooms, if you don't have good place for them to, after a game to relax, after practice, have the saunas, the ice baths, really nice places to relax, putting the money into all the different things, like in Alabama, we just built a $16.5 million nutrition center. Most people kind of scoff at that. Well, it does make a difference to some people. They want a place that's going to be nice, relaxing. These kids, after a practice and that, want to joke around, hang around. They want a nice little lounge. Facilities do matter. And for Colorado to not have really kept up with the times, it's the reason why right now they're probably the worst Power 5 team. I don't see it changing with just a coach. I think it has to go higher than that. And if it doesn't go higher than that, then I think you're just going to keep perpetuating the losses. Coaches are going to go in there and they're going to struggle. It's good when you hire a coach and you make promises, but if you don't have the facilities and you don't have the leadership to help them get the recruits, I just see it as a sinking ship. I feel sorry for Dorrell. I think he's a good guy. I don't think Colorado right now is going to be an easy place to go in and win at. I mean, with all the jobs open right now, you can go to Nebraska. Now we got Wisconsin. You got Arizona State. Those are some schools that will draw a lot better coach than what Colorado. Unfortunately, I think probably next week I will be doing another one of these videos, because we all know Auburn's coach, Bryan Harsin. I don't think that seat can get any hotter than what it is with what he done, especially, playing LSU at home. Most people would have said going in, Auburn doesn't really have a chance. And they jumped out to a 17-0 lead and then let up 21 straight points. Really surprised me that he did not get fired on Sunday. But I can guarantee you he's 1 to 2 weeks away from being fired, because they wanted to get rid of him before the year. And it really surprised me that they didn't. So as always, if you guys will, leave me comments. Tell me what you think of, the coaches who have been fired so far. Tell me what you think about Bryan Harsin. When do you think he'll get fired? And if you would also, who is the other coach? Who's another coach that's really on the hot seat, could be fired next? I know there's a lot of coaches out there who fans are not happy with. We can go with West Virginia, Neil Brown. He keeps getting on the hot seat. Neil Brown and Sark is kind of funny. They both kind of bounce back and forth between, we were going to keep him, he's doing all right. Then they lose a game and, we got to get rid of him. So leave me a comment. Tell me who you think the next coach is. And as always, roll Tide.